Hello, everyone, and welcome to an interview with a vampire. Today, we have our wonderful Figurama Collectors CEO, Mr. Shanab, with us to talk about everything to do with our latest release, our Hellsing Seras Victoria Elite exclusive statue. So, welcome, Shanab.
Hello, Stephen. Thank you for the nice introduction from your side. I'm very excited today, actually, to talk about Seras Victoria and sitting next to the great Alucard of Hellsing statue, actually. And it's one of the two statues I have in my office. To my right, always Hellsing of Alucard. It was here since the beginning, and I do love this statue. There is many stories around it, so we will discuss in our chat today. And it's really dear to my heart.
Yes, and I've seen it being called a masterpiece quite a lot over the internet as well. So it's definitely a wonderful piece.
We are very excited for the sequel, which is Seras. She is no less than Alucard, to be honest. We have invested lots of the learnings during the creation of Alucard, which it was since 2018. We are 6 years away from that experience with a way better, more strong engineering and design techniques as well.
Yeah, that's true, because Alucard was created quite a while ago. It was one of the first pieces by Figurama, if I'm correct.
True. It was exactly the fourth piece.
Wow, that's amazing. And to have
It
such
was
an incredible
like such a
piece
journey.
come out as your fourth piece. It's incredible. Most people start small and get bigger, but you seem to have gone
We became
all in straight
bigger
away.
to bigger.
Yes, yeah. They just keep getting bigger and bigger and better.
Yeah, no, we
So-
really began with the most complex pieces ever, actually. Devilman, Trigun, and Alucard of Hellsing. We will talk about it in details.
Yeah, that's true. So that brings us on to the first kind of point around today.
Yeah,
Obviously, we've got Seras Victoria as our next release, which is the second piece in the Hellsing series. It's following on from Alucard. So around that, kind of, what were the challenges you found creating something that is a worthy follow-on from Alucard?
so thank you for the question, Steve. Basically, Alucard of Hellsing, it was one of the most successful statues ever. And we have a natural bond to this anime, to be honest. We were huge fans since a young age. Alucard of Hellsing and Hellsing IP brought a lot to the scene, to the anime scene, whether it's the story, the production, and the characters' dynamics too. So in the beginning, we wanted to create a piece that will really like to be the world premiere and to do its justice, right? And we didn't thought it will take much attention because the time we decided to pick this IP, it was dead. And when I say it did, I don't mean as it lost the value, but it became a niche. There is no much of an attention. It like wasn't mainstream anymore. But to our surprise, that was like not the reality. To be honest, the fan base they have been recalled out of their hideouts. Everyone showed up, and everyone were really clapping for this amazing piece. The fans or the non-fans that they had to go and watch the anime like once they saw our statue as usual. To be honest. It was very challenging a project of the Alucard of Hellsing. We have put so much effort in the creation of it, whether it's 2D or 3D or even the manufacturing. We have exceeded our own self expectations in creating this masterpiece. Everyone like we're shocked about like how this is going to be produced. We have put the 303 eyes that it was all hand painted actually, and look at like such details. Everyone like questioned how Figurama gonna ship these without any breakage. I mean like look at this German soldier. I mean he's
amazing, like
gun.
blood coming out of his head.
Yeah, see, he looks funny from this perspective in a way. So yeah,
eyes popping out.
yeah. So there is like lots of challenges, and and that was one side. The other side is the painting. We collaborated with one of the most renowned Japanese painters, which his name is Hell Painter. That's his nickname. The gradation of the color and the familiars, because the familiar it's not blood, it's not fiber, it's something in between. So I believe that we have achieved an amazing effect to recreate the familiars to reality. I am very proud of everything that we have done with Alucard of Hellsing. And since that time, we have been having thoughts about Seras, to be honest, and we had continuous requests to have Seras as a second piece of Alucard. Yeah. And again, we have been working for this project for more than 3 years because it was so challenging for us how to create a second piece that can be as great as the first one, if not exceeding, and they can look great next to each other. It was easier to create Alucard from scratch, but the second piece was the challenge, which I believe we have achieved, and that's not my own opinion, that's the collectors' opinions. We were so happy to like almost hear zero negative comments about it, and everyone like loved it. That's really rewarding for us and for our hard work over than 3 years actually. Yeah.
I think as artists it's always great to have that support when you're putting something out into the world, and like you said, all the collectors have had outstanding support for this piece.
It's the hard work and the manifestation of positive energy and love that we have for this IP that really it reach our collectors.
Yeah, exactly, and they love it. Amazing. So when you mentioned about the design of Seras and how challenging it was, and so I want to show, actually we've got quite a few different concepts that we did when creating Seras.
Honestly, I like forgot about them. Honestly, I didn't see that part. Let me zoom in. Yeah.
So
wow. Okay.
We went through quite a process to create a lot of this work, and as you can see, that Alucard
rings a bell.
Is next to him. Yeah. So, how did you land on a concept that you thought was the best to move forward with for this? Because there are quite a few different versions.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, Steve, during the concept stage, our main goal was how to create a masterpiece that's gonna be as great as Alucard and gonna look great next to it, and to have some sort of unity. This unity was the challenge. How to have a unity in the same time is to stay original, right? Unique. So we have realized that there was a certain flow in Alucard, like I'm talking like a flow that have to do with the silhouette itself, how we can recreate it from the Baskerville dog to Seras that she like doesn't have her dog with her. So we have used her familiar that coming from her arm as the tool that to achieve this unity in a certain composition, while having Zoran is smashed over the wall to complete that balance, I would say. So it was really challenging, because in the same time that we wanted to create a very composed piece that every single corner gonna mean something, and it will be very well used. and it's not going to be an extra that we can cut out, because we like don't want to give our collectors any unneeded space. So the is smart use of the space, and the composition here, like that played the big difference, like why we went with this concept. But I would like to hear from our collectors if they prefer any of the others.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear your the collectors' thoughts on what they think about these other pieces. And like you're saying, it's I think Figurama do it really well, especially with this piece where they've balanced it, where you have a lot going on, but it's not chaotic. It's still composed. It's still balanced. Yeah. So, speaking of amazing balanced designs, let's go through the gallery and let's talk about the actual piece.
I have to add a point. Sorry, Steve. It's
okay, go for it.
So we had another design for Alucard back in the days that we were about to, and to be honest, till this moment, I'm in love with that design too. We are going to show it now to our collectors. And I really would like to have some sort of voting, because I see there's a potential. I would like to get a voting, like whether to do it or not, and in which scale. I see great potential in that design, to be honest. As what you can see here, it's like more of a museum with a dynamic base. Still, it's like not fully a museum. And Alucard, he is doing his like very popular posture as well, dropping his guns, standing over the Baskerville itself. It's a very well composed vertical piece, as what you can see. I would love to hear your opinion about it. For our collectors, and whether they would like to see it coming to life, and like which line and scale as well.
Yeah, that would be really cool to know from the collectors, because I know there's quite a few who missed on Alucard. They weren't collectors at that time. And it gives people an opportunity to say, we want something bigger or something maybe slightly smaller. So that's, we'll get a vote going in the hub on social.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So going on to the gallery, this is our amazing movie poster that we showed off a couple of weeks ago, kind of the first reveal we did, and it's just such an amazing, violent piece. And so I'd love to know.
We can do less violent than Alucard, to be honest. We had to do like more violence. And in Alucard, some pieces that the collectors love is the popping eyes and the exploded head, plus the elbow bone that is coming out. But here we like went far away with the other body parts are coming out, the intestines. She's bitten off Zorin's fingers that you can see it there. It's much bloodier, and yet it's very well balanced between the black and red. Like, it's really a great, elegant, terrifying, gruesome piece, I would say.
Exactly. I think it's going to really pop in people's collections, like you said, with the grey and black, and then just this red kind of piece coming out of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of biting off fingers, the next photo we've got is of Seras, is what we're calling the Vengeance portrait.
Vengeance portrait, yeah.
So obviously within this fight, she's just drunk the blood and become a true vampire, and is getting her vengeance on Zorin. And it's quite a gruesome bit.
And you look at the details in everything here, even Zorin tattoos that is sculpted, all of the composition here, I love this shot, to be honest. It shows the balance that we have created. the extra details, the anatomy of Seras too. I believe that's really perfect, and I would really thank the sculptor, which we have done a few projects with him. His Carlissimo, So Franco Carlissimo is like one of the great sculptors that we appreciate his work with. Definitely the support of Ezekiel in like a few enhancement over the portraits, and definitely the concept art of Daniel Kamaruddin, Figurama's concept artist. It's really a great effort by the team to reach out this masterpiece, and then our Figurama painter, of course, that the painters, they have done a great job into transferring this knowledge that we had from Alucard to this masterpiece.
Yeah, they've done such an amazing job. Like, one of the bits, I remember when I first saw these photos, I asked our team, I was like, is Zoran's eye, is that actually the real painted eye? And they were like, yeah, this is it. And it's incredible. Like, the bloodshot eye of Zoran is insane. So one of the amazing things of this piece as well is that we obviously have swappables. So this is Zoran's face getting absolutely crushed, but you can also have the whole Conan too.
And that was a design
as
challenge.
a swappable piece as well. Yeah, because it's in the anime. What is it? 2.5 meters long.
It's really long. And the challenge here that, okay, great, cool, she's fighting Zorin, but what about her iconic rifle? How we are going to add that? I believe that we have really succeeded into making a swappable wall and a swappable torso.
Yeah.
So because you cannot have her holding the rifle and Zorin, she's just stuck to the wall. It's not gonna make sense. It's either or. And we managed to convince the licensors, because that was a big challenge with the licensors too. I'm very proud of the outcome. I love the swappables, the wall, and the sniper. You can get both and display both, and each one have its own standards as well. So yeah. We've
obviously included stands for everything as well, which is amazing. But this rifle is big as well, and it's again so detailed. So if we get a little close up of it, you can see all the painting
shot,
on the
to be honest.
bullets.
This is really my favorite. Look at the bullets, the leather, every single detail. This is like the real stuff.
Yeah, it's incredible how much detail we've managed to get into this.
And the caliber, it looks great, like so detailed. No, this is a work of art, really.
It's incredible. And like you said, the sculptor and the painters have done such a great job
to pull the details in the prototype and the production too. Like once we are gonna put this to production, it will carry the same details.
Yeah, exactly. So with the whole Conan, we also have the swappable combat portrait. So you have multiple different portraits for Seras that you can use. And this is her combat one, so it's slightly less angry, but I still love it. It seems cold, right?
It's like psychopathic, I would say.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't want to run into her at night holding that gun with that face. Like
the reason why we have chosen this portrait expression is that it's really an emphasis point that gonna give you an irony and a contrast between the surrounding, between the whole chaos that is around her, like all this noise, the blood, the intensity. She have the calm center face. I love this one.
Yeah, like you said, it's a really good contrast. I really love this portrait as well. And then let's look at the base, because I think this is a really good area where you can really see Alucard coming into it. And I think we've essentially taken the same kind of motif
Yeah,
with the eyes.
with tweaks,
brought that
like
to Seras.
it's not a copy paste,
Yeah.
but it's an inspiration to give a unity. So the pedestal were a great opportunity to have a unity between both pedestals.
Yeah, yeah. Which is, and I think it looks amazing. It's come out
Yeah,
really good. And the eyes just pop. And staying on the base as well, we've got some cool Easter eggs as well. So we've got these amazing shards, which I think if you remember from the scene in the anime, Zorin's got like an illusion kind of built up, and Seras breaks it.
it's like a
So
dimension, parallel reality. Exactly. That was one of the great, points that we were thinking, like how to incorporate that very strong scene from that parallel reality, I would say, into the statue, and it should make sense too, and not to overdo it, so it will not look cheap. I believe that we achieved a great balance in this by putting the shards around the pedestal.
Yeah, and it's like just enough that you can see it and think, that's I know what that is. And we've got, again, carved all of the writing into this as well. So there's a lot of extra detail into this.
Very detailed.
Yeah. Now let's go to our includes, the things we always add. So we've got a bus display stand, which again keeps that that same theme going along. It has the eyes from Alucard as well, and it means that you're not just leaving one of the different bus in a box. Yeah,
Absolutely.
which is
We love bust stands and swappable torsos. In her case, since it's going to be a swappable torso, it's really a great solution, and you are just going to have an extra piece on your shelf, and you can display it whether next to the statue or on your bookshelf next to the manga, the Blu-ray, whatever, So it's an extra piece, I would say, that we will feel really good having it, and it's gonna look really great next to Alucard bust, as you can see it here behind me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was going to say, you normally have the Alucard bust on your desk or something around. Yeah.
Always.
And then we also, as we mentioned, we have the wall display, because, as you said, you can't have Zorin just there when Seras has a Hulk on him. So we've actually got two completely different wall pieces, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One of them,
Yeah.
like whatever your choice is going to be, and you can alternate, so you like won't feel boring, so you like won't feel bored by a certain look. It's really gonna change the look dramatically, like when between Zorin and the wall versus Seras rifle. It's really gonna change the whole atmosphere, and we want you to also keep it on your desk or your shelf too. It's really great, and especially if you choose to take out Zorin, it's looking really nice, floating, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a statue by itself.
An amazing piece. Exactly, right? It's these incredible pieces that I think are one of the most extreme swappables we've ever done, but it really does add that extra level of design that we could include into the overall statue. And then let's talk about some more Easter eggs. We've got a few Easter eggs in here. So if you haven't noticed already, we have the Millennium Organization soldiers that are being just ripped apart. You can see this guy's leg
I love to
being
rip
pulled off at
these
the bottom.
soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll see in later ones there's even more crazy things happening to these soldiers, these poor guys. And then we have Pip Bernadotte's hat, which is obviously an essential to Seras, I think.
Exactly. And that's the Easter egg, actually, you know. We had to pay some respect for him. So, and we wanted to do it in a way that we will not over share it or over distract the scene with. So I believe the hat is a very great solution, because also the coloring, it's more muted, so it will not really pop up unless you pay attention, and we want you to pay the attention.
Yeah, we always want to, when you look at your statue, every time you look at it, we want you to see something new that you're like, oh, I've never noticed that before.
Absolutely. And we have been criticized by some of the competition indirectly, like why Figurama pieces, they are so complex, they are so difficult to produce, because we are Figurama basically. We don't do the simple PVC statues that they are made in resin that could be done easily in PVC, like with no details. It's all about the details. It's all about the quality. It's like all about the wow moments in our statues, and we will always do that. We will always keep these mottos and values.
Yeah, exactly. It's what runs through the whole company. And then our final Easter egg is we have obviously Pip Bernadotte's lighter, which is very small at the bottom, so you'd have to really look for that if you want to see it. And as you mentioned earlier, Shanab, the intestines being flying out.
So when you look at that, like, make sure there is no meals coming next. So
yeah. Make sure you've not eaten when you're looking at this, because it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So just to kind of round up everything around this statue, we are doing an edition size of 400. It's priced at $1,285, and it's the same scale as Alucard, so it's the 1/5 scale. So if you put them next to each other, they're going to match, which is why we decided to do that scale. And we've got two different versions of sizes. So with the Zorin wall piece, she's about 54 centimeters tall. With the Holkonen, she goes to a 63 centimeters tall, which is 25 inches.
Because of the rifle, it's pretty long, yeah.
Yeah, it adds a lot of extra height, but I think a lot of cases are around 64, 65 centimeters.
Yeah, it's gonna fit.
So she will fit in. Yeah.
And in a way, our statues, they always need their own displays, because we only create centerpieces. It should be the center of your collection.
Exactly.
It should be treated that way.
Yeah, exactly. It should just be there in the middle of the room, looking amazing. Because you need to look around the entire statue. It's not just the front view.
Absolutely.
There's things at the back, things at the side.
It's a 360, always a 360. And all these hidden Easter eggs, they're from the back side, so make sure you are going to have an easy access.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And one other thing that we've not covered here yet is that we've included, as a store exclusive, a die-cast golden emblem of the Hellsing organization badge. That's something you can only get if you order with us.
Yes, make sure of that. When you order from Figurama directly, you are going to have these store exclusives. Absolutely. And the golden emblem that we are going to create is it's going to be really heavy, very well crafted. Like, if you remember, we have done it twice, one with Kenshin and the other one with the 20th anniversary of Trigon. It's really thick. It have a great value. it's really gonna just add to the eliteness of this masterpiece.
Exactly. And again, it's something that you can put next to your Blu-ray, DVDs, manga collection. So it's like another additional collector's piece, essentially.
Are you gonna tell us more about the great news for the existing collectors of Alucard?
Yes. So we're feeling pretty nice right now. So for anyone who already has Alucard and has purchased with Figurama, they can get $100 off their shipping, which is an amazing amount off the shipping. And it's very easy to claim. All you need to do is take a photo of your Alucard. If you haven't taken it out of the box yet, then first get it into your collection. But we do accept a photo of the box, of it in the box. You need to add a card next to it with your name and the date. Take that photo, send it to our support email, and then we'll apply that discount to you. So when you order it, the discount will already be part of your order as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then on top of that, if you order in the first 48 hours and you pay in full, we're giving you $75 off the price of the statue, which is an amazing discount that we've not ever done before. And all you need to do is use a coupon code, which is 48 Seras.
Yeah,
And that will give you the amazing discount.
absolutely.
Yeah, so there are a lot of discounts happening, a lot of extra things happening with this. And we'll have those kind of going on the screen right now for you so that you can remember what you need to do. Okay, so the last thing we've got here is we've got a couple of questions from our community. And when I say a couple, we've got a lot of questions.
Shoot.
So the first one comes from Sully Eskin. Do we still plan to reduce the time between the pre-order and the release dates?
Sorry, Steve, can you repeat that?
Yes. Do we still plan to reduce the time between the pre-order date and the release date? So when...
For Seras or in general?
In general.
Yeah, so yeah, like that's a good question. Basically, we really put lots of effort in our statues. And let me tell you something. We always redo the work in the factory whenever we are not satisfied. And that causes delays, you know. It's always a pull and push game with the factories. And we don't rest for any quality that less than perfect. We want to ensure that our collectors is going to pick the top quality that ourselves gonna feel proud to display on our shelves. And that takes time, you know. We are gonna do our best to be like more consistent of the shipping and to reduce from many years maybe to a year, you know, like and for some products less, like the busts and whatever, it can be done like much less, which we have done actually. So yeah, definitely now we have a plan with the factories and we will like move forward much faster, definitely with like while keeping the quality standards and I would say Figurama quality. Yeah,
I think that's the important part here really, is that we're not going to send things out just because that's the release date. If we're not happy with them, we're going to make changes and make sure that they are perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this question comes from Sully Eskin and Kurama Nama. So we've got Alucard, we've got Seras now. Is there any plan for Alexander Anderson? Or, as we mentioned earlier, actually, like a different Alucard version?
That's a good question, actually. And we really want to hear from our community, I would say. we would love to hear like the demand for Alexander or another piece. We are open for the choices, and I think the trio going to make a great sense next to each other. So, like, let's have a poll. Let's hear the collector's opinion, and why not?
Yeah, exactly. Never say never.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll run a poll in our hub to see kind of what characters people are looking for and what kind of level. Like, not everything has to be an Elite exclusive. I know Alucard and Seras are. Maybe we don't want to do Anderson as an Elite exclusive. But yeah, we can run a poll on that. So, do we have a rough idea of when we finished the 3D concept of Seras? And this came from Timo-san.
Do you mean like when it was done?
Yeah, when the 3D was done.
That was a while back. I would say like more than a year ago. We had to do some adjustment and tweaks. That's why it took us more than anticipated. As I said, it's really a challenging piece. It's no less challenging than Alucard, right? So we really have done some re-engineering to it. But yeah, it was done some, like as a final late last year. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've obviously...
And I want to say hi to Timo-san. He came and visited us personally with his partner to Figurama office, Tokyo headquarter. We had a pleasure to meet them and have some otaku conversation.
Wow, that's amazing. Maybe, so Timo-san, if you're around Tokyo in September, I think we're going to be around there again. So, yeah, it'd be cool to meet up. And we've got a question from the Gothic writer, is how customizable is this work of art? And I think work of art is a great way to describe this statue.
I didn't really get the question much, like if you can elaborate.
Yeah, so I guess how many different ways can you present this statue?
Seras.
And how many pieces change? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, basically, there's 4 ways that you can display it. It's like either Seras with Zorin, or Seras with her rifle and Zorin. It's not gonna make much sense, but it's possible because like Seras' fingers, they're like touching the like Zorin's face, and she's is smashing her against the wall, and you can show like, so I would say 4.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few different ways. Like you said, there's kind of 2 main ways. You'd probably want to have it Seras with Zorin, or Seras without Zorin and her gun instead.
Absolutely.
But we'll never discriminate. You can always do it however you want to do it. So the next question comes from Sully Eskin again. Do you plan to sell the Seras bust later like we did for Alucard?
To be honest, there is no plans at the moment. Like there was a reason back then, but we don't have any plan at this moment.
Yeah. I think, I guess, again, in the future, if people want a separate bust, we might do a smaller bust, but it won't be one of the ones that we're including. So from Pablo Correa, so not taking, and this is quite an interesting question, not taking into account numbers or the current market, if we could do anything we wanted without restriction, what would be our favorite series that we would like to see done?
Honestly, it's like not a series, that's a movie. Akira. Definitely Akira.
Yes.
Yeah. And Ghibli. These 2 are on the top of our lists. You know, we have the concepts ready, we have the sculpts ready, but we need to convince the licensors. I have no doubt that eventually we will make it. Vampire D, it took us 5 years to convince Amano-san. I am sure that eventually we will have Akira and Ghibli. Yeah, and they are going to be a masterpieces, I have no doubt. Yes, definitely. Especially that we have like many swappables, I would say, like different accessories, like the rifle versus, you know, like here smashing Zoran's face. It was really difficult to convince them with that, and also like regarding the details that we have put inside, because we always take liberty, to be honest. We don't follow 100% the guidelines, and that's what set us apart. So to which extent we can maintain the balance between licensors guidelines and our own artistic liberty, that's where we shine. And you know, it costs us more time and more convincing, but we made it.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of our designs take 2 or 3 years to actually be released, because we do things differently from a lot of other companies, really. So from Timo-san again, how long did it take to sculpt and paint this prototype?
Over a year.
Long time. Yeah.
Over a year, and that's
it's a long
without
time
feedbacks. That's like the pure work of sculpt and paint. It really took over than a year. As I said, like it's really complex piece that has so much details. Like it's like almost an OCD style of or level of details. So it needs time, and we have to give it its own justice. It took a long time.
Yeah, and there's no cutting corners
No, not
to
at all.
make things quicker. It's
Neither in design, sculpt, nor in the production.
yeah. So from Kurama Nama, how long does the process from choosing the next statue to designing it to the final production typically take? And what does that process usually entail?
So basically, you know, like in the beginning, we have the research and the development stage. Then we have the concept, 3D prototype, and then the mass production. That time really varies. You know, it depends about the license, the scale, and the details, and what kind of diorama it is. It really varies, but anywhere between a couple of months to a couple of years.
Yeah, yeah. It is quite a big range.
Yeah, because like there's many factors, like what you are doing, a bust, a diorama, a versus, a solo. It depends, you know, like there is many,
Yeah.
and which scale and what kind of details as well. Our sixth scale, it's larger than the quarter of our competition, even like 1/3. You know, so it depends, really. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So the next question is from Pablo Guerrero. Do we have multiple ideas before deciding on one? Which, yes. And if so, is there a process to choose the one that we're going to go ahead with?
Process, no, it's intuition and hinge. Again, this is a passion business. We are in this business for our passion to design, creation, and collectibles. it should click with us. We should feel the wow moment. There are criteria, yes, of course, that it should be balanced. The flow should be right. It should be production friendly, but to a certain limit, of course. But it should feel right. And we have to imagine how it's going to look like within our collection. If we are satisfied, then that's the one.
Yeah. I think one of our criteria is actually the wow moment, which isn't something that you can define. You just see it and you think that's the one. Yeah. So from Paradisina, are there any plans to re-release Alucard?
No way. Like the same one?
That's a quick answer.
No way. We have never done that, and we will never reproduce a new one. It depends on the demand, and we would like to hear more from our collectors, of course. But we will never reproduce something because that's downgrading to the brand, downgrading to the IP, and I would say it's gonna be really. It's about honoring and respect our collectors who bought it in the first place.
Yeah, because they've bought it with a certain detail in mind, and so never re-release. But we might do a new Alucard statue in the future. We'll see what the polls say. So from Kurama Nama. How do you decide which animes you'll get the licenses for?
Like that goes for like my previous point is the research and development that we do, the demand, and to be honest, we don't follow. It's not necessarily the most popular because most of our great IPs that it's a great success. It's a niche, So. We really have to be also fans of the IP so we can feel it, we can believe it, and have a great outcome out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that really helps is that our community is so engaged and they're always kind of recommending things that they would love to see. We're collecting those and we're kind of keep track of what people are asking for. And so we can go and do the research and then go, okay, actually, this idea could be really cool.
I'm very proud of our community. I'm very proud of their interactions. We have a great, healthy hub that we love them all, and they are the source of our inspiration.
Yeah, they really are. We love the hub. And they're so engaged and so passionate about the collecting community, being otakus, Figurama. It's amazing.
And being themselves. And, being themselves while feeling safe and not attacked.
Yeah, like you can give any opinion you want in the hub and there's no worry of attack or anything like that. Which is great because it does help us, if people are giving ideas of what they think should be changed in a statue, that's going to help us. And it's going to help make a better statue overall. So from Timo-san, we've got a edition size of 400 for Seras. Why did we decide to make her more limited than Alucard?
That's a good question. Timo-san, if you remember, we opened the pre-order for Alucard. It was 400 pieces. In the beginning, it was 400. But I think sometime after that, we kept having demand. So we had to apologize for our collectors and give them the bust as a gesture of apology. And that's where we created our line of the elite bust. It was only by apologizing for our collectors because we had to stretch from 400 to 600, the edition size. So we gave them as a gesture like this a beautiful bust behind me, and that was for gratis. We didn't charge. It was the birth of the elite bust line, which is really great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons, and there are other smaller things that have been decided why she's 400 instead of the same. But it's only for the benefit of collectors, to be honest, because it just makes her more limited, more rare.
True.
As you can see, if you try and get an Alucard statue, you're going to be paying, what, triple what we sold it for? Which is crazy. And then we have one last question from Sully Eskin, which is moving away from...
I love the questions,
Seras,
by the way.
is...
It's their questions, obviously, it's coming from passionate collectors and otakus.
Yeah, exactly. And they're such good questions. So, more Claymore, when?
Soon. Very soon.
Soon.
Sooner than you think.
Yeah. How to answer that, really? Yeah. At some point soon.
It is coming.
Yeah. I think that's all we can say on that one. So that is everything for today. Remember that the pre-order opens on the 27th of July at 11 p.m. JST, so that's Japan time. There are only 400 pieces. And if you use the code 48Seras and you pay in full, then you get $75 off the full price of the statue.
Absolutely.
And then we do also have a secondary coupon code, which is Seras35, which gets you £35 off the price of the statue. You can use that throughout the whole pre-order. There's no limits. You don't have to pay in full. So there's a coupon code for everyone. Yeah. And,
before we wrap it here, yeah, thank you so much for facilitating this great interview, Steve. And before we leave, I would I would like to show our collectors this a beautiful gold orak or grandizer bust. So basically, this Virgin, it have been painted by an aspiring painter. He is a local painter. His name is Fahd. It's the 2D Virgin. You know, it like got the 2D paint. Wow. To be honest, I am in love with it. I think this is a great one-off, you know. I would love to hear our collectors' opinion, whether they like to see the 2D paint applied for some exclusive products, like very limited. So we have the full version, like the full color version, and the 2D version. Me, personally, I love it, but I would really like to hear our fans' opinion. So you guys feel free really to have a screenshot of this, and you can share it around and give us the opinions. I would love to hear from you.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, well, we've got a lot of polls to do.
Yes, sure. Yes.
We need.
We will keep you busy for some time, Stephen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So thank you for coming along again, Shanab, and thank you to everyone watching and submitting your questions. Remember, 27th of July, 11 p.m. JST. Be there.
We'll see you there.
400, and I think,
and hopefully the website won't crash. We are doing our best to reinforce our website, so hopefully it's gonna survive the wave.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. We've done a lot of testing, a lot of improvements, and it's going to be good.
It's going to be great, sure. Not good. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.